And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to Beyond Quest with Reck. I've got the mighty Hunter Mythos with me tonight. Thanks for coming on the show, Hunter.
Yo, everyone, it's your boy Hunter. I'm glad to be on the show.
Yeah, glad to have you. It's been a while since we've seen each other. I think Dragon Con the last time I saw you.
Yeah, well, I'm not really a stranger anymore, but I don't really hit as many cons like some of the crazies do. Like Matt hits all the freaking cons.
Matt is a con man.
Well, if you read Dungeon Call kinda
A little bit.
sometimes, but I heard he's been doing cons even before he
Yeah,
blew up. So that's always been his thing.
yeah. It's always been his shtick is cons, and I think he ran he did like art. He sold art at cons for a long time. Yeah,
Yeah, pure art is him. Me, I have not done cons much at all, unless I just stumble into them just because. But yeah, like when you saw me at Dragon Con or Little RPG Con, were you at Little RPG Con?
yeah. It was. Yeah, I think
I
we
was.
like two ships passing the night. Like I saw you, but we didn't really talk at Lit RPG Con.
We didn't, huh? Well, yeah, I guess we didn't. But that was like one of my first major cons, and
Mine
it's
too. Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of crazy because I was on stage and I was like, huh. You know when you're on
You're
stage,
like,
some people are like,
it's happened.
I've always wanted to be there and then living their life. I was on there and I was like,
Did you feel like the spotlight and like ascend a little bit?
no, not really. I was just like, you know what? A lot of people want to be me right now, and I don't really care. I was just there, just hanging out, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I feel like that's you know, you sell more books, you get in front of bigger audiences or whatever, but it doesn't if it's like surreal because it's just happening. And at what point, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of
Yeah,
comparison between authors, and it's like, you know, uh,
it depends on what you focus on. Because for me, literally, since we're talking about Rogue Ascension, for me was literally just getting enough money to pay off my debt and to just eat whatever I want. Because I was the starving artist um, before Rogue Ascension blew up.
yeah. Was Rogue Ascension your first series or
No, it's the
okay.
second.
Okay.
Well, technically, I had a lot of stories and stuff. You know how it is. You
Yeah.
you you build up a catalog that nobody's gonna see,
Yeah.
and nobody's ever gonna see. Um, but on Hunter Mythos, because I had another pen name before. My first series that went on Amazon that I just pushed out, which somehow didn't end up as a total disaster because I had Amazon issues of my
Yeah.
first release.
Of course.
Um, was S- Apocalypse. It was a Gravity of Divinity, or the System of Gravity of Divinity, or as most people know it, Apocalypse Comedy.
Okay.
Um, that was a 6-book series, and that led and connected to Rogue Ascension. And
Okay.
that's when I tossed that Rogue Ascension, I literally threw it out there as a book that I didn't think was gonna do that well. I thought it
You're
was kind of
like, just put it out
yeah,
there.
it was kind of like I was like, I need money this month, and I was like,
Let's write a book and put it out there.
well, I already wrote it. I wrote like 150,000 words. Thought it was trashy. Kind of sold the audio rights to Podium for extra cash, And then I was like, okay, Apocalypse Comedy was ending. I didn't have anything else. I was like, let me just put it out there. I'll think up some better series. I don't think this is gonna do well. And lo and behold, I checked on it a week later, thinking it wasn't gonna do that well.
And you're like,
and
what?
it was holding a really good rank, and I was like, I was literally hanging out with my homeboy, telling him, "Yeah, man, sometimes you just gotta throw some trash out there, and they ain't gonna really do that well. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you a book that I just
You just
published.
threw out there. Yeah.
Put a little like Amazon ads on it. And I just it's not gonna be doing well." So I was like, "See, look at this. What is this rank?" Literally, as I was pointing it towards him, I was telling him, "Look, it's gonna be doing terrible." And I looked at the rank, and it wasn't. It was actually doing quite amazing.
That's awesome. That's
and
awesome.
it and then it just kept ascending.
Yeah. There you go. It's all in the name. You just gotta number goes up.
It was like it was destined. It was like this thing is not. To me, I was the writer. This thing's not gonna do well.
Mm-hmm.
It's too cheesy and trashy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
true to
I think
Joey's.
there's there's something
style.
in the genre. People like the cheese. They like the they like the they like the cheese. They like the Ascension story. Number goes up.
Number goes. Also, when I look back at it, so I was talking with somebody else, a dev editor, um, and he rated it a 6 out of 10. And you may be like, "Wow, that's kind of harsh, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Nah, I think it's fair. I think it's a fair one because if I looking back at it, um, there were some parts that if it had gone to a dev editor, they could have spruced up. They could have like developed a little more.
Yeah.
But it was one of those stories that I made quick, fast, and tossed out there, not thinking it was gonna do well, and people saw the joy in it for whatever reason.
Yeah. So let's talk. Let's provide the framework of the book a little bit, so folks who haven't read it know what we're talking
Okay.
about. So in Rogue Ascension, the apocalypse kind of comes, and all those on Earth are snatched into the multiversity, and Joey wakes up with this cryptic message from the system, and he, of course, gets like this.
Adventurer or commoner.
Yeah, adventurer or commoner, and he of course he picks the adventurer. He gets this like great label that makes him like a little souped up adventurer.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of smashes his way through the multiverse. He starts off with like a Kraken best BFF. Which I thought was love. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He meets a warrior princess that takes him to task.
That was his reward.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey BJ, thanks for joining. Yeah, it's definitely like your classic like overpowered main character, ends up in this new world with special powers and just kind of goes to town. It's funny that it's Rogue Ascension because his class is rogue, but at least in book 1 there's like nothing that he does that's very rogue-like. I was laughing as I was reading. I was like, yeah, rogue, this is like Azeroth healer. It's like, I don't think the character heals anybody in the first book, like, I heal myself. Does that a healer? Is it really a healer to regenerate?
So it's hilarious because I've gotten so many like I wouldn't call them complaints, but statements about that. People are like, it's called Rogue Ascension. Why is he being a rogue? And well, that's how it all started. How do you be a rogue when you're stuck on a raft?
Yeah.
With only a crate that you soon lose.
Yeah.
Because I remember the line where he was like, "I'm alone and the crate is gone." and you're like attacked by these turtle monsters.
Yeah.
There's no. Yeah.
I mean, he does have like some shadow powers, and the situation does not lend itself to a rogue. There's nowhere to hide in, or
Exactly. So the funny part about that is I used There's like too many lies to the marketing of Rogue Ascension. With Rogue being a part where he's more of a dodge tank, like
Yeah.
in your face kind of samurai style, kind of duelist style character.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's no class called duelist, you can either fit it in warrior or rogue. Two, the type of necromancy he uses doesn't deal with dead bodies exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and you can see that in his first choice, the or one of his major choices that people like made a statement about,
Mm-hmm.
the Shade Dragon Tail.
Yeah. Which I thought the Shade Dragon Tail was one of the more unique powers that you give him, and like one of the more unique powers. I mean, a lot of things are just like, you know, regurgitated, you know, berserker, like whatever powers that everybody has, but like the Dragon Tail was pretty unique. I haven't read that in a lit RPG yet.
Yeah, it was a choice based on the fact that I read another story where a character had like blood wolf powers, and there was no tail, and it became a meme where it's like, why does the character have blood wolf powers and wolf ears and no tail?
And no tail, yeah.
Give us the tail. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give my character a tail. And then the Shade Dragon tail became like one of the more defining powers throughout the whole series.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he uses it kind of. I mean, yeah, it is one of his most overpowered powers that, you know, Reck's destruction. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. So, Hunter,
Yeah,
how do you want to be addressed when people come up to you at cons? Do you want to be called Hunter, Mr.
Hunter works.
Mythos, Hunter?
Just Hunter works. It's like, is that Hunter? Are you Hunter Mythos or Hunter? Like, yeah, that's me. Probably better just to say the whole name. Like, it's Mr. Hunter Mythos or Hunter Mythos, because Hunter. There's a lot of hunters.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
There's one Hunter Mythos, and it kind of rolls together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. All right, Hunter Mythos. All right, so the main character's name is Joey, which you got the J thing going on. He doesn't strike me as a Joey, but like, hey, you got the trope check.
You have to have. I have at least three main characters with J names:
Mhm.
Jay, John, and Joey. And for some reason, it always works. I don't know why.
So are you the original? No, just going with the J's.
Just
Yeah,
I just had to follow into the trope, but I mean, I guess it worked.
yeah, totally. I think my next series, I need to think of a J name that isn't used 18 times. It's so
I got,
funny because I talked to, who was it? Somebody last week that had used Silas, and there's a bunch of Silases in the genre too, and they're like, "Oh, is it a common name in the genre?" I'm like, "Yes,
yeah,
Silas." You might as well,
Jay.
yeah.
I didn't know Silas was that common, but I know Kai.
Mm,
Kai is common in freaking cultivation stories.
yeah,
I got away with Zarian before realizing that's too close to Zorian of Mother of Learning.
that's fair. Yeah,
Can't use Zach. And then there's like D names are you have to be careful with. Of course, anything that starts with an A, you have to be careful with. I don't know if there's many main characters that start with B.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
It's one of those tricks where it's like you damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You know.
It's true. Yeah, it is a thing though. J names are a thing in lit RPG. And it sounds like that was a conscious choice by you. You're like, I'm going to follow the genre expectation of a J name.
And it's kind of funny because nobody really expects the main character in a very straightforward story to be called Joey.
No.
It's kind of humorous, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
As Joey goes in and stabs this guy. It,
I honestly don't know that many Joeys. I don't know if I know a single Joe. I mean, I know a Joe, like Joe, sure, but Joey, yeah, keeping
Joey,
the one.
yeah, that one was kind of like when I look back at it, I was like, I'm glad. It's tough with J names, but at least I'm glad I found one name that's kind of like Joey is not like the usual.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is distinctive. I don't think I've read. I mean, and all the lit RP, a lot of lit RPGs have J names, and I don't think I've read a Joey, a Joe certainly, but not a Joey. So,
Fair
let's talk
enough.
about Joey's powers and skill set a little bit. So I've read book 1 and 2, and
Nice.
yeah, and you can already see like his skill set is mapped out. It's not, in my opinion, it's not super roguey, but hey, whatever, right? And you've got this
So
like evolution path for him, right?
which parts do you think is not that roguey though? Let's talk about that.
Um, you know, so he's got like shadow powers, right? He's got the dragon tail, he's got the cloning ability, he's got it's it's not that it's not roguey, it's just how to your point, how he uses it is more dodge tank. Um than And he's like in your face fighter. And I always think like when I think of like a classic rogue, I think like more assassin sort of, sneak out of the shadows and backstab you, but he doesn't do a lot of backstabbing. He's just more in your face, dodging and taking you out before you have a chance to do too much damage.
Almost like a rogue. But let's go back to the power set, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why like he's not too roguish goes to the fact of he didn't get the chance to develop those powers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And
I am here for it. Like, I loved it. I don't care if he's a rogue or not. Because
yeah,
his powers are unique and fun, right?
yeah. But we are on the subject. So about that wait, do you have anything more to add to that?
Well,
Before
I
I go
wanted,
into this field.
yeah. So the question was about like how much of his power set and like progression on his power set did you figure out at the beginning? Like, did you have it mapped out, or was it really you just threw it out there and then you're like, oh, I've gotta make this make sense after the fact?
I do not map out powers. That does
Okay.
that doesn't work with me. What I do is leave little nuggets or little breadcrumbs, and I work it out as I go. Um, of course, pretty awesome as you get along, but then you discover like, huh, I wonder how I upgrade this even further, or how I take this even further.
Mm-hmm.
But the what I realized with Rogue Ascension that kind of makes it, would you call it like a little unpredictable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little chaotic. Yeah.
Chaotic, unpredictable. It just um what makes it work is I decide right then and there on the situation. His powers are not mapped out at all.
Okay.
So it's based on the situation he ends up with in and
Yeah.
how his rewards can be, and then we go from there. So it kind of gives a more, I wouldn't say organic sort of growth, but it does lead itself to being spontaneous.
Yeah. I can see that. It makes it feel more natural in his choices because it's more like in situation. He's making decisions based on what just happened to him, what he's seeing that's like coming, and
Yeah.
he's making those decisions. Do you track what powers your character has? Like, do you have an Excel spreadsheet or Obsidian file or whatever?
Who the heck can do a RPG book without tracking those things?
Yeah, yeah,
Personally, I don't do Excel sheets. I just type everything down in what I call my Bible, like my
okay,
story Bible,
hmm
and I make the profiles based there.
okay. So
So all
do you have like a running profile of where that character's at the current moment?
ex- I do, and I learned a while ago to save multiple or to make multiple Bibles for
Yeah, like
each
this is the
area.
end of book 1 where they're at,
Yeah,
and yeah, yeah.
exactly. That way you can look back, be like, huh, I have this power. Let's use this, that, or the third. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know who doesn't try to track powers. I'm like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean you've got to, because especially when you're doing. I mean, I guess if you're doing a standalone, you don't have to do. No, like if you're doing a series and all, you got to track it.
One thing I've learned is like it's it took me a while to do this, but the simpler the system, the better in a lot of ways. Um, because once you overcomplicate those numbers, man, you find yourself spending more time trying to track everything.
Hmm.
Um, especially if you have multiple profiles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you've got a party or yeah, it always is crazy to me when people are actually tracking experience or whatever, and they're like, it's like the level of like, I don't care what that turtle monster's experience was worth. I don't.
Never me. Some
Yeah.
people enjoy it, but not me. Nah. Especially now that I've been reading for the past how long has it been? A month and a half. For the past month or a month and a half, I've been reading the Wandering Inn.
Yes. Yeah. Pirate. It's one of my favorite web novels,
Have you
but
have you
super simple.
have you have you caught up to it, or have you read most of
I
it?
have I've read the web serial all the way to volume 8, which is well past what's published on Kindle. So yeah, I've read. I spent 2 years of my life reading The Wandering Inn and got caught up like twice, but um, yeah, I haven't read like
That's
the last year.
that's kind of funny because I am currently in volume 7, and I've been reading for the past month. I just been nonstop
You've
reading.
just been nonstop, yeah. Hey,
Yeah, I won't lie. I do skip. I don't. There's so many like like different plot lines. I've
who's
gotten comfortable with skipping a couple here and there.
yeah, who's your least favorite plot line of The Wandering Inn? I could talk Wandering Inn all night.
Oh,
Just
dude, come on. Okay, pause
yeah.
on Rogue Ascension. This is just just for
Okay,
like a
we're
minute.
gonna fangirl over Pirate Ava. Yeah.
Pause. Okay, I'm up to
My
volume
my
7.
dog is named Mersha. I'm just saying.
Oh, you kidding me? That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So, King of Destruction.
I hate
I've given up on that one.
I
I've
hate King of
tried
Destruction. Hmm.
I've tried the first couple of chapters that came out. I just
It just
I
never
got to
gets
the
better.
I got to the point where I just skip it. I'll skip it. And I know there's like a lot of little like interesting world building that threads into the main
Yeah.
plot lines. But I can't give myself to care because some of it's kind of slow. And then when it builds up, I don't really care about the King of Destruction characters, yo.
Well, and the twins are just very like meh. Like I just don't care about them.
Yeah.
I think the only thing is like when Gazi gets her eye healed, the whole scene where they're in like the city of it's like this big bug, this undead
Yeah.
bug thing. Like that was pretty cool. But other
I
than
did
that,
not.
and the King of Duels where the war
I
starts,
actually.
like that's actually kind of fun.
So
That fight.
I missed out on Gaudi's eye getting healed. I didn't know that.
Mm.
But I did slow down for the King of Duels fight. I kind of skimmed it a little bit, but I was like, I didn't fully skip it. I took a look, and I
Hmm.
was like, oh, this is kind of badass.
Yeah, that fight scene is pretty fun. Yeah. Have you
Yeah,
got
that one
okay? Have you gotten to the Horns of Hammerod
when
and
they became
this
gold rank.
when they fight in the city of undead?
Not yet.
Okay. when you get there, you need to message me, Hunter, because it is, in my opinion, the best battle scene in Lit RPG. But like nobody's read it because it's like volume 8, like
Dude, are you
in the web
kidding
series.
me? I thought the fight with the adult Kriller was fucking crazy.
The Kriller was amazing. Like when they became Hell's Warden. Like, okay, you guys, spoiler alerts for Wonder Again. Sorry,
Spoilers,
we're
guys.
geeking out.
Yeah, well,
When
because
they
I will lie. The lead up to that, I was so. That was. Can I
it
talk to
was
the lead up about that?
yeah.
When the Wistram mages showed up and jumped. Spoiler, guys. Spoilers. Seriously, when they jumped Pisces, bro,
Yeah.
I have never ever been so angry.
Yeah.
There has never been a book that has made me so livid, so angry than that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, just wait. Just wait. There's a couple more moments that are going to make you pissed.
Bro, I have
Seriously.
never felt so much anger than that moment. I was like, bro, what?
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally like shaking, hoping they don't get away with Pisces and like scavenge off. But thankfully, everything led to the adult Kriller. And man,
Yeah, that was
fuck,
epic. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Hell's Warden, the adult Kriller, and she does well. Pirate does such a good job of like planting the seeds of the Krillers, like just throughout the
yeah,
series. Like this build up to this moment was just mind blowing.
little by little by freaking little, because I wasn't sure about the horns. I was like, man, because after that, right when Pisces got jumped and they finally got released, I was thinking to myself, when are these guys ever gonna get a good power up, bro? Like every time we see them, they're always struggling.
They're scraping and scratching. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, bro, Pirate Emma, like, I was thinking to myself at that moment, like, dude,
yeah,
let these people win the big one, yo.
yeah.
I was like, they struggle so hard. I was like, I was praying to God. I was like, bro, let these people get one.
Yeah. Hey, when they score, they score. I mean, even in the original dungeon that they tackle, right? Like,
The
I mean, their big
Albus.
prize was the door, and
Yeah,
they, gave it up. But
yeah.
still, I mean, that was a pretty good power up, but it was nothing like the Cruller fight.
That one. So what made that one special? Because I just read that one like yesterday or 2 days ago. So I'm fresh off the hype.
Okay, so you're on volume 8 of like the
Volume
like
7.
volume 7 of the. So the web serial does a different voluming. So based on volume 8, I'm probably on like volume 25. Like
You talk about books?
I'm talking about the web serial. So the web serial she wrote basically book 1 through 4, I think. Volume 1 through 4 of like the audio and the Kindle was her first year of writing, or their first year of writing, and then like year 2 was like book 5 through 12 or whatever. Yeah,
You keep saying volume this and volume that. Are you talking about volumes and books?
so it was not a book originally. It was just a web serial. So
Yes.
originally the volume was a year's worth of writing for her or for them. And so the books that are out, the Kindle, the audio, are segments of that original year. The first couple of years is what they've got published.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're up to technically book 18, which is
Yeah.
still in volume 7. But
Yeah.
I'm reading the volumes.
Yes. And when I went through the volumes on Kindle didn't really exist. Like they had published like the first 3 volumes and that they were like working through them. So then I jumped over to the web serial and read all the way to the end of the web serial, which
Yeah.
there's a lot.
You keep saying the volumes on Amazon. You're talking about the books on Amazon because they separate them into books.
Yeah, sorry. The books on Amazon correlate to
Yes, there you
volumes
go.
on the web serial. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I stuck with the volumes in the web serial, but sometimes I'll hop over to the books too. Um, do you listen?
I have, but like I said, when I first started reading it, the Wondering wasn't on audio. I think Andrea
Oh
had done like
yeah,
book one, maybe book two. So I read
yeah.
I listened to those. I mean, I've definitely re-listened to them um, since they've come out. Andy is one of my favorite narrators, and she's a delight on him.
I I still haven't gotten into audio yet. I'm a
Yeah.
hardcore reader.
Are
Like
you?
I like reading with the eyes, and I think it's better for writers sometimes. But some people say like if you're an audio listener as an author, as a reader, you write for audio compared for if you're kind of a visual reader,
Mm-hmm.
you write for visual. One cool thing I've noticed with how Pirate Abba writes, it's like she writes for audio strictly. And you have to train yourself when you're reading to figure out who's saying what.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah. But
Although I don't I would say that maybe it got edited in that direction.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
that the original web serial, it's changed a lot. The original web serial was a little bit more he said she said. Um,
I think I've seen it. Actually, I think I know what you're talking about. Cause I read the second edition of Volume One, which had
mhm,
like a lot of changes and a lot more added to it. Ironically, there's no second edition to book like Volume Two
yeah.
or the other books, right? So they made a couple changes that like one of the biggest changes is Ryoka and the Bloodfield run
Hmm.
and Pursuer, that bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I really hated
uh
her. That was one of my like I want to slap a character.
they made her worse in the second edition,
Yeah.
but because there was no updates to the volume 2, they it kind of like I had to stop and realize, oh, she kind of made changes. She made a
She didn't
lot of
pump up
changes.
the anger in volume two as much.
Yeah. And now there's changes here, and I kind of had to like ditch what I read. Some of the
Yeah.
changes I read in volume 1, but circling back to like the Wandering Inn, I've been reading it because I've heard a lot about it, and I always thought it was just this depressing slice of life story that that's kind of that's I don't know. Like I've heard more negatives about it than positives, right?
Hmm.
But it was always famous. I was like, why is it famous? What and like it's slice of life, right? So isn't it like really slow? Does it have its slow moments and like really really big tangents where you're like rolling your eyes and
Yeah.
like,
The
come on, Pirate Abba?
the freaking clown. Can we just skip the clown?
Oh, dude, I gave the clown one chance, and then after that, I skipped it. I was done with the clown.
Yeah. So we can stay friends because the King of Destruction and the Clown are like the two like my least favorite storylines. The original web serial for the Clown, the first chapter he goes crazy. The pirate had like you're reading it online, and about 10 minutes into that web page being open, clown laughter started playing. It scared the out of me because I was reading at like
I remember that.
1 a.m. and then all of a sudden you get this like cackling crazy clown laugh, and I was like,
I remember that was so crazy. It's just it, but the thing is, afterwards, I didn't find it as interesting. The first time with the doctor, I found the first volumes or the first like chapters with the doctor,
mhm.
I found interesting, and then eventually I kind of like
Yeah.
skip past the United Humans. And I never read Nears. I'm sorry. If you're a Nears fan, I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah.
really find them that. So that's a lot of things I skip, honestly.
Yeah. 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 Jen saying this might be unpopular, but they hate the Emperor. They hate the Emperor with the very like
Which is which is funny because I actually enjoy the I stick around to read the Emperor chapters.
okay, you're not
I
skipping the
I
Emperor.
s- I don't skip because here's my philosophy for reading The Wandering Inn. Aaron Solstice, because Aaron is mostly very entertaining.
Yeah, I love her. She's my
Yeah.
top character.
And the horns, because once they get going, they really get going. And I
Hmm.
find Pisces, all of them
You're you're gonna be
amazing.
so happy with where they end up. And then Ingrid.
Pisces, Kismiver, Yvonne. Oh, she had the most badass line. What was it? Silver and steel be my guide. Everything dies.
Yeah.
Um, and Sierra. So that's those I follow. Horns. And most importantly, I always follow this, no matter what. Goblins.
I love the goblins too. Yeah. Yeah.
They're to me like that is one of the most fascinating storylines
Yeah.
that just stays from the beginning of the Wandering
I
Inn.
I like at some point I'm probably gonna get like a no killing goblins like tattoos. Like it's been on my list for a while. But
So
thanks for joining, Richie. Yeah.
yo, welcome. So goblins have always been one of my favorite like fantasy characters because they're kind of like ridiculous and silly and like like usually they're the villains or they're just ridiculous like side characters. But after reading how like Pirate Abba does them, I'm like, okay. When I get to another new series, I'm definitely gonna rework my goblins.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Mine.
yeah,
Which goblin's your favorite?
so far from volume 7, um, damn, I think it's a fight between Rags and Numtong.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I think Numtongue edges out Rags just a little bit, but yeah, they're both very compelling.
It's hard for me because Rags has been through so much.
Yeah.
Rags has been through so much, and she just keeps like trying to learn to be a better like to be a better leader. Um, and I'm still waiting for Numtong because the where I'm at right now in Volume 7, I feel like Numtong is still trying to like figure himself out,
Mhm.
and he hasn't gotten like a compelling victory yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that one I'm waiting for. Um, but yeah, that's and I still read up on Ryoka, even though from where I'm at, she's gotten less active. Around and at least where I'm at in Volume 7. Oh, and the Antonym dude. I reached a part where Bird has been popping off.
Yeah.
He nearly started a war.
Bird's amazing. Yeah.
I'm shocked by him because so I'm at the part where
Spoilers,
there's
you guys.
yeah, sorry about that. Sorry
I
guys.
know we are
We're gonna
here for Rogue Extension,
we're
Rogue
gonna we're
Ascension,
gonna
but
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
we're
go
gonna move
down
on.
this
We're gonna
wandering
move on
eye.
real quick. We're
Yeah.
gonna move on real quick. But I'm at the part where I'm wondering if there's gonna be a civil war, or if Bird and Kiblek is gonna have a
Killed.
one-on-one. If they go,
Yeah.
I never had to figure out his name. Is it Kibik or
It
Kiblik?
it's Kilb and Kilblick and
Kibik.
And you really need to listen to, because there's one moment where Andy pronounces Kilb's full like name, and it's like, holy shit.
I'm gonna go with Kill. And
Yeah.
so I'm wondering to myself if they're gonna run the fade, if they're gonna run a one-on-one, because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, if they do, but I haven't read that part, so we're gonna cut that off.
Okay. Have you used the, so my favorite, is it Kissimer? Have you done
Kiss
it where, so for Kissimer, there's the moment, I can't remember if it's, I think it's Bird. It's actually Bird, where the Wervins attack the Walds.
Yes,
And
yes,
he goes, is it war? Like he does that total fake out of all of the Drakes. And I'm
bro,
like, that's my other tattoo. I kind of went from wondering, and it's like is it war? I've got the mug.
dude, that
I used to, when
moment.
I worked in corporate, I would, when I was getting in a particular contentious meeting, I would hold up my is it war
Is it war,
coffee mug.
bro? So there was a moment where after the Goblin War, I grew weak. I wasn't sure if I was gonna continue or if I was gonna be like, maybe it's time to stop and get
Mhm.
back to work, right? So I gave it a few days and I realized, no, no, no. Let me see what happens. Let me read a little further.
Yeah.
And volume 6 for me in the beginning was super slow. It really tested my patience. And then it sped forward and the adult critter happened.
Yeah.
And then immediately in volume 7, it feels like the story picked up its stride again. And then when that thing happened with Bird and the Riverns, I was like, thank God I didn't quit.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a moment that will happen where Aaron basically gets benched for a very long time, and I was struggling to read because the story slows down, because like I would just live for the Aaron chapters, and and that's when the Horns have their next big moment. And so like when you get to that moment, just like keep reading at least until the Horns battle. And I like, after the Horns thing happens, there's a ramification of that that I also didn't like. And at that point, I was like, okay, I need to take a break and read some other stuff. I'll get back to it. But yeah,
So
it's
because it's up to volume 10, so you're telling me to push through.
yeah, you got to push through. Like I said, it's, in my opinion, like the best battle in lit RPG is when the Horns have their next power up moment.
Bro.
Yeah.
So I think that is where we could segue back into Rogue Ascension.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get back to Rogue
talk
Ascension.
about talk about big battles.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think, a little bit to help segue. I didn't think the Wandering Inn had fights like that. I really didn't think. I thought it was a slice of life. I thought it was slow. I thought it was silly. I thought it had some depressing like moments that pissed people off. I didn't realize it had fights.
I think the people that complain about the Wandering Inn never read far enough to get to the fight. Honestly, I think
Really
they just like
good.
give up because they think Aaron's whiny for
It
like,
didn't get to Skinner.
yeah, they don't get. I mean, Skinner is one of the creepiest. Like the first time I read Skinner, I was like, I'm gonna sleep with the lights on because this like, ooh.
So, and that's why like I'm so glad I'm reading this now, because in Rogue Ascension you could tell that there's a lot of fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially a lot of fights, but there are moments of down period. And to me, when I was writing that story, I was afraid of letting Joey like chill out too much. In fact, I didn't really know what to do if I just let a character chill out or explore. I,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself, oh no, you'll lose the audience, right? Now that I'm a little older and a little wiser, if there's one thing I wish I could go back and do, it's give Joey a few more moments to explore the world and chill out.
Yeah.
However, people do like the fact that it was just Joey just running and gunning.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
What do you think?
There's yeah, there's a moment, I can't remember if it's book 1 or 2, but like he's in
Describe
like a
the
new
scene.
Yeah, he's in a new city and he is exploring, but
Is
it's
it the
all off
desert?
screen.
Is it
Um,
the he's in the dungeon in the desert?
yes, yeah, and he goes to the city and he's like learning the lay of the land and stuff. But and the princess comments about how that was like her favorite part was watching him. Like she thought he was going to go to the city and just bust down a bunch of doors, but he like explores the city. But it all happens off screen, and I think that would have been a fun moment to just expand. Like, what was he
So
doing?
yeah, so book two. Book two was written before book one came out. Of course, it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
But during that time, I didn't think this story would do well, and I was kind of like in a bad mood. So I was just forcing myself to write.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those. It was like definitely in the darker times of my
Yeah.
of my career. So I didn't really care that much. I was just pushing, and to keep the story like engaging for me was to like skip past the interactions and do more like action, intrigue. But the interesting thing about book two was the fact that I changed a lot of things up.
Mm-hmm.
If especially when I took a risk on Joey getting captured.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think about that scene actually?
I thought it was good. I thought it was actually good and needed because up until that point, there was no stakes because he just kind of plowed through everything. Like, there was like, can anybody challenge him? It just seemed like there was no ceiling and no real challenge. And then when he got captured, it was like, okay, all right. So there are people that can kind of band together and take him down. So it helped provide stakes, in my opinion.
Which was funny because I was like scared of writing that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was scared and I was trying to set up how can realistically Joey be beaten.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about, well, let's play off the fact that at this point Joey's kind of arrogant, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. He's got the dragon in him.
Yeah. um, but yeah, like it's it's interesting because to write stakes while dealing with an overpowered character, you a lot of people get angry if you let that character look anything less than powerful all the
Yeah.
fucking time.
Which is so irritating, right? Because as a
Oh, it's beyond irritating.
it's like, come
It,
on, you guys. Like nobody's do you really want Mary Sue's? Is that all you know?
it's I wouldn't say Mary Sue's because what they want is kind of like security in some way
Mm-hmm.
that the character can't be being in a fight. So you have to be creative in giving other stakes where
Yeah.
are they socially aware or like, oh my god, like are they suck at dealing with interactions, so they're like, you know, socially inept or they get embarrassed easily or like they
Yeah.
cause like issues along the way that other characters have to deal with.
So
Um
you're saying it's more like the Star Trek, right? Like you can watch a Star Trek and know that your characters are pretty much going to make it, unless
yeah,
they're the extra.
so let's say the red shirt, you know.
Yeah.
Or you like you flip it into another person's perspective as they gaze in awe and fear of the main character just doing whatever they want, you know. And it works. Like it works. People really want that. The problem for me is I don't really I don't think I can maintain that for long without. I mean, I could. I've done it, but part of me misses the unknown. You know, like the moments where you're not so sure. And book two was definitely the book two was the moment where Joey started to like deal with challenges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like
Uh,
I said, like to me, I enjoy stakes. And if you have somebody who's too overpowered all the time, it just, I mean, I think one of the things that is really common for lit RPG authors to do, and you kind of started setting it up, is well, if the main character's too overpowered, then we're gonna target their friends and family, right?
Yep.
Yep. And like I get it, because if you have this overpowered main character, that has like societally, like if you're challenging this character, that's got to be the choice. But I also like I hate the tension of trying to take out like the best friend or the mom or the sister or the whatever. I hate that tension. I'm like, no.
That's kind of ironic though. Like, so there goes some tension, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, if the main character is too strong, you target like their family and friends, right?
I
So there
know.
goes a tension point for you, but you don't. So you're the type that's like, no, leave them
I think
safe.
I'm just like like sense, like I don't want the kid or the, like the the underpowered friend to get challenged. Like I just like I think I'm just sensitive that way. I'd rather the main character, get captured or suffer.
Yeah, I guess,
But
I guess people are wired differently, but we have to admit, like, overpowered characters are super popular in this genre, ridiculously so.
they are.
And the funniest thing is, I'm like, oh, if only you got to book 3.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
only you got.
I'm going to rip through the series. Definitely. This was one. I mean, it's just, I will say, and I made a TikTok about it,
Yeah,
about how Rogue Ascension, it just hits those things in lit RPG, like just that dopamine, like the loot, the fight, the progression. Like it's just, you've got it, like that kind of classic lit RPG. If you're craving that, this is 100% a series that you should read. And
yeah.
yeah.
It's funny because it's like, it's definitely like kind of classical in that example. So a lot of people like thought of like Primal Hunter
Mm-hmm.
in that regard. Um, but a lot of the inspiration also came from action movies. And the reason why Joey acts more like a warrior than like the classical rogue
Yeah.
is, especially towards the end of book 1 when he got, you remember that chase scene?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was based off John Rick.
Okay. I could see that.
Especially when he started getting his guns,
Yeah.
the pistols.
Yep.
Uh, what do you think of the Shadow Clones?
I like the Shadow Clones. The fact that they have kind of their own independent personality and kind of jib at it, like jibe at them, like you got this like little comedy, you're judging yourself kind of aspect that you throw in there, yeah.
Yeah,
They in fights, they do a lot of damage, and it's a good way to make him overpowered within his own skill set. Instead of having to have a party, he can throw out his clones to help tackle, bigger fights than he would just by himself. So I mean, it works really well. Um, yeah,
yeah. It's one of
it's
those
a
happy.
little overpowered though for like book 1. You're like, bam, you get this like miniature squad of clones. That
Well, he is a great adventurer.
he is a great adventurer. Yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah. He chose that life. So
he did choose that life.
the
Yeah, it's funny because one of the stakes in this book, you guys, is that your average adventurer can die and get resurrected, right?
yeah,
You don't call it resurrection; it's something else. But like they could get resurrected,
revive, yeah,
yeah, revived.
because
But if
because
he,
he's a starter area. So
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah. But if he dies, he loses his like OP great kind of title, and so there is this like he's got to stay alive where everybody else can die.
he
And then
becomes
ironically, you toss that out because you give him this personality trait that makes him just not give a crap
he if
for a
he
while.
dies, he
Yeah.
becomes a commoner,
Yeah. He
and that's
loses it all. Yeah.
yeah, that's what scares him, right? Which personality trait were you talking about? Was it like,
Just his like the draconic arrogance that he, like,
oh yeah, was
yeah.
that in book 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
The dragon price.
Yeah. The dragon price. Yes. It gets really, and like like he's just like, God, come at me, I've got this. And you're like, dude, if you die, you're a commoner. And he's like, I don't care.
I remember when I wrote that. I don't know what the mood I was going for, but Joy was getting he was getting another dragon power, which he shouldn't have done it because the more dragon powers he get, the more arrogant he becomes and the
Yeah,
more
yeah.
likely he's gonna die. But it was one of those powers. Oh, a Shade Dragon Eye.
Yes, the eye. Yep.
And it was like, I can't turn away from this.
It was the decision in the moment. Like you have this moment where he's like, I really shouldn't do this, but I can't resist this power. And then I thought you did a good job of like the ramifications of this was this extreme like personality impact. And he
Yeah.
goes off like I said, he's like, I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna take down this whole city, right? Like he's just like over the top, and he has to get yanked back. And it was a good cost for the power.
Yeah,
Um,
it was I think one of the best decisions I made, which I didn't think about at the time, was creating like conflict with the powers, creating cost. Even
yes,
if the cost isn't too like debilitating, like like in classical fantasy stories, if you use this power, you have to sacrifice something, whatever. Like
yeah,
this one's more in regards of, and I think this actually works. This works a lot in these type of stories. The more power he accrued, the more it affects him, and it makes him feel either more arrogant, more out of control, more
yeah,
likely to get himself killed for all this power.
yeah, yeah. He definitely leans into that. Like it's arrogance, but it doesn't. It's not like he is. It's not arrogance that makes him just an absolute jerk. It's arrogance that makes him just be like, I could do that. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
I could do whatever. I wonder. It's been a while since I've read it. I'm actually gonna reread it after I catch up on the Wonder again, which is
yeah.
gonna be a
It's
crazy
good.
like
Still be
match of feeling. To go
yeah,
from a story that just takes its time to build up to another story that's like go
yeah.
all the way
That is
forward.
gonna be a weird swap. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm like, we're gonna spend one night at Jordan Con just talking about the Wonder Again.
Oh, I did not understand the hype, but then I'm like, oh, this is why it's popular.
Yeah,
I have to admit, it is. Yeah, there's some parts I skip. I won't lie. It's a shame to say that. I've come to realize that I will skip and skim. I have never done that with any other story. Most of the
yeah,
time, if I get to a point where it gets too difficult, I usually drop the story and move on. But the
yeah,
Wandering In is too good to drop, so I was like, all right, I'll figure it out as I go, right?
yeah,
And that was always something I was scared of doing. So you can see in my style where, like you said, you wish Joey'd spent time exploring the city. At that time, as I was writing that story, I was so focused on just trying to like keep people entertained and engaged.
yeah, yeah,
But I've come to realize stories are more than just action and spontaneity and the constant dopamine hits. Um, there's time you spend with the friends, with the characters, the world building, and a lot of us are afraid of slowing things down or having
yeah,
like smaller tension moments or whatever, or just like letting the characters live out their days. As crazy as it could be.
yeah,
Uh, and and now I'm kind of looking back and I'm like, man, I could have done so much more if I like knew what I do now while keeping those action points. Like, would it have made the story better? Would it
yeah,
still be as addicting, or is it as good? Or is it? what it is now, what people wanted at the time.
I had this bizarre thing this week. So my book has come out here in the last couple months,
Yes.
and one of my favorite scenes that I've written in the whole series so far is
Don't
this
don't
scene where what was
don't
that?
don't be
Well, no,
quiet.
no,
You're
it's
about to
just
say it.
this scene where the main character goes back and visits his family, and you have this like dinner scene where like there's kids running around, and like you get this like it really grounds you in like where he's from. And I love those couple chapters. And then it's so funny because one of my friends, Meth, like read Stumbling Up, and she was like, "You missed an opportunity on like this other scene where you needed to slow it down." I was like, yes. At the time, though, I was like, I got to get back to the action, and so I was just like, flipping a switch. I'm like, all right, we're gonna get back into the action, and I think we need to slow down more. It's just our books are already thick, right?
Yeah. So the hard part with figuring out when to slow down, it all depends on who you're trying to write for and what you're
Yeah.
trying to achieve with those slowdown periods. And I've come to I've come to realize my style is always gonna lean towards more action.
Hmm.
It's just naturally what I like, but I can slow things down here and there, right?
Yeah.
Or I could finally I can finally reach for a dev editor that slows down, right? So one of the books that I think has probably one of the most consistent pacings and does very well for itself, Primal Hunter.
I I'm gonna admit this. I've only read the first Primal Hunter, and it's been a while. I mean,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough. I don't blame you. Um, but I've read it twice, right? I've read all the way up to like book two, book three.
Hmm.
But I've gone back recently with new eyes after a couple years, and I kind of realize, oh, this works. It's a very consistent, not the most stylish style, but it's very it's low key.
Hmm.
It's a low key type of story that doesn't conform to what's traditionally good, but it works very well in the genre where you just follow the main character, you follow his thought process, which works for a very large segment of the lit RPG community, and towards the end of every chapter, which is around 20, 2,000 3,000 words, very consistent, and you can tell it was based off Road style.
Yeah.
There's a little hook that keeps you going, a little hook, and it keeps growing from there, right? Um, and I look back at it and I was like, oh, it's not always too fast, not always too slow, but there's always this reason to
There's
just
always
follow
this
along.
next. Yeah, I need to read that next
Yeah,
chapter. Yeah.
yeah. What's going on here? What's going on here? It's a very consistent style. And it works for Zogart, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it kind of like I feel like for the past couple of years, I've written and published somewhere between 25 to 30 books, and I've always been looking trying different styles. If you even though I'm going back to Rogue Ascensions to write book 9 and book 10.
Yeah.
Uh,
Gary actually told me because he wasn't able to come tonight, but he was like, "Tell Hunter I want the next book."
they're coming out. So the answer that book 9's coming out this year, later this year. Book 10 will probably come out. I think it's gonna come out the end of this year. And then I'm gonna finish Path to the Slayer, and then I'll finally work on a new series after that.
Hmm.
Um, but I took a break from Rogue Ascension. This is like meta stuff. I took a break from Rogue Ascension because after you publish 8 books within 9 months,
So, that's wild.
yes, that's part of the
That's
reason why
wild. Yeah.
that's part of the reason why Rogue Ascension is the way it is. I literally put out 8 books in 9 months, and that kind of burnt me out away from Rogue Ascension. So I kind of hopped around and tried different stuff.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I want to go back. I want to go back and finish the story.
So is it done on book 10, or is the door open for more?
I'm probably gonna finish it at book 10. Wherever it stops is gonna stop there. But the way book, I don't blame people for like really, really, really wanting book 9, because the way book 8 ends is kind of one of the most overpowered moments of Rogue Ascension. Where you think
He
where you
is challenging God.
where you think Joey can't get any stronger or can't get any ridiculous, he really, really starts like going further and further. There's also the relationship with the war siren princess.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I haven't gotten. I mean, like, I haven't gotten to that relationship yet. But you set up the, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're gonna be an item. She's coming around.
so going back to book 1, and when we finally meet the siren princess, what did you think of that scene as Joey walks into to meet the princess?
Yeah, I thought that played out well. Like, I mean, when they originally meet, right?
Yeah,
I thought she took him in pretty quick, but then you countered that with like her just being so overpowered compared to him, and like just taking him to task and like just beating the crap out of him for a week. Like, I mean, hey.
that was her reward. It
Yeah.
was her special reward.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
it works. But it was just funny because it was just like here and the Kraken, I think of the Kraken, I can't remember the Kraken's name, but he knows.
Curry.
Curry, yeah. Curry knows that this is possibly coming and doesn't warn him at all. So it's just like bam. Yeah. Um
Yeah, he actually apologized because he didn't know it'll go that far.
Quite that. Yeah. Well, part of the reason it goes so far is because Joey's so determined to make the most of this moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It was actually, I was talking to somebody. He was telling me like he wished I extended that scene, and I was like, extending that level of ass beating over a week. And he was like, yeah, I wanted to like
it
see
was the
Joey
training
like figure it
montage,
out.
right? Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, I was like, looking back, I probably could have done it and like extended the scene when he's in the underwater city
Mm-hmm.
where you like explore around a little more. But again, I was of the mindset of action movie, keep it
Go,
quick,
go,
keep
go.
it going, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite scenes. It was literally like what happens when the main character, who you think is pretty strong, meets somebody who's been peak level for years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the classic, like, she's peak level, sees that he's got potential, is like, I'm going to do my best to get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
It was a fun scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh,
enjoyed it.
what do you think of the devil scene?
When he first encounters the devil, or the book 2, like the whole, I don't know how many spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Yeah, in
Yeah.
book 1. Let's keep it in book
The
1.
book 1. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, the devil, when the devil is like taking out all the sirens and just like picking them off and stuff, it's like, okay, all right, like it was a good setup for like, this is the ultimate power here. And you
yeah,
have that tension of like, okay, I may be overpowered, but in this world, that is a power I need to avoid,
yeah,
and then later, when he re-encounters the devil, that's powers have been it's been captured and his powers are muted, and he discovers other things about the devil. Like that whole plot is, yeah. I mean, it's I did not see it coming, but it's a satisfying like
Yeah.
entry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that did happen in book 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
It becomes it's one of those things where like if that's why I do breadcrumbs or plot threads. I don't outline and plan things. I just think of what I want to write, what style I want to do, and just go from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the most important thing I do as basically a discovery writer or a pantser,
Yeah.
always have freaking plot threads.
Yeah. Always leaving a
Always,
breadcrumb.
always plot threads and reread what you wrote.
Yeah.
Um, you don't have to rewrite, not yet, but reread what you wrote, and that's what lead to scenes where you first meet the smiling devil,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see another one later along in a different scenario,
Yeah.
and then you're probably gonna see it again and again as it
Yeah.
connects.
It's
Yeah.
it's do you have this thing where like when you're doing the reread, you're like, oh yeah, I set that up, I need to land that thread. Like I like, as much as I try to track things, and I do have an Excel document and stuff, like I'll reread and be like, oh yeah, I did that, I need to like write that thread back in. It's like, it's incredible how much I forget. I mean, you wrote your books in a pretty condensed, so maybe you weren't forgetting anything, but when I reread, I'm always like, oh crap.
So that's part of my style is why I like to write fast. But um honestly, one of the funniest things that happened was it's kind of sometimes the opposite. I'll write and write and write, get further ahead in the series, come up with this interesting plot thing, and then I'm like looking back and I'm like, it's a little too random. So I'll go back if I have a chance to go back
And thread it in. Yeah.
and thread in more.
Yeah.
And this is actually really important because I think at the time when book 1 came out, I had to I was writing book 3, saw how well book 1 was doing, and I had to like jump back into book 2 before it came out, add a few plot threads that led into something very significant in book 3,
Yeah.
which really like magnified the series. Um there's
Yeah.
also times there's also times where layer ahead I came up with this cool idea and I have to go back
Yeah.
and like thread it in. So it could go in reverse. Sometimes it's back and forth. The further ahead I could write into a series, the better I could always come back and like add a couple things
Put
here
those
and there.
threads in. Yeah.
Put those threads in.
Definitely for my book 1, I got to the end and I knew that it was going to have an emotional ending with a twist.
Yeah.
And I definitely was like, okay, I need to like foreshadow this twist. Like I need to go back and like write a little bit more of what's gonna happen in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do that. I've done that with my book 2 and stuff too. Yeah, just having to go back and layer.
Build up can be tricky. Sometimes you don't need that much. And other times you just gotta be like, it is what it is, and keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it depends on the audience that the book picks up. Um, but I do like connecting threads. And I like plot lines that like you could come back to again and again. One thing I want to do uh when I start a new series later down the road, probably next year, right? It's kind of I like the idea of a home base that people come back to, and I've kind of realized, especially in our current uh, era of the genre,
Mm-hmm.
the constant adventuring could get tiring for like readers,
Yeah.
and they kind of want to have a place where
Yeah.
you come back to, and then you bounce out again. And I kind of like I learned that from the Wandering Inn, but I've seen that in other stories as well.
Yeah. I think that there's a real desire for like base builders, not necessarily that's the only plot line, right? I like the Wandering Inn, like they want people to go out and like journey and you have these adventures and stuff, but I think that they want also this like city building, base building element. You see that come up in the forums quite a bit, and there's not a ton of lit RPGs that do that well. Um,
Personally, I don't even think so. So some of the things I've been looking back and realizing that I want to do better on are like I'm very critical on myself,
mhm,
and I think it's less about the base building, although that part of the genre there are people who desire it, and it's more about having a home or a place you belong to, and you see the people like you've met, and
the
part of
familiar, yeah.
familiar and part of progression, overall progression, which lit RPG fits into, is seeing how the effects of the main character affects the area around them, and things
Hmm.
change, and you see the old character, like for example the guy who sells cabbage becomes a farmer tycoon who gives the main character like deals on like farm products and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
That's where you get all his veggies from. Remembering that guy, that guy, he was just a merchant who was just a trader with a cart of cabbages, and the main character was like, "Hey, I'll help you out since you're a
I want
cool
all your
guy."
cabbages. Yeah, yeah. I'll buy
and
out. Yeah.
that one deal skyrocketed him, like that kind of like that sort of like progression. It's admirable. It's fun, and base building is a direct product of that.
Hmm.
But in future stories that I want to write, I kind of I kind of look at myself because I can get really intense with the crunch.
Hmm.
You can see that in Rogue
Yeah.
Ascension. There's a good amount of crunch. There's a good amount of uh, system messages and
Yeah.
announcements and level ups. Um, but I might slow that down a little bit and sprinkle in other parts of the genre and just do a little more storytelling.
It's the Wandering Inn effect.
It is the Wolverine effect, but I've seen it in other stories too. He
Yeah.
Who Feeds Monsters, Primal Hunter. Primal Hunter has its slow moments for sure. God, don't even get me on Defiance of the Fall.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, people. Like some of the biggest stories have a lot of slow moments and build up.
Yeah. 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 Because I mean, it's that counter to the progression, right? It's the counter to the progression that humanizes the characters, right?
Yeah, and it's also kind of like, well, to be honest, too, a lot of the biggest stories have been web serials that have been around for years,
Hmm.
and I kind of wonder to myself sometimes, like, if I wasn't like putting out books faster, what would it look like to actually work on a web serial
It's a
that's supposed
whole
to
different business model, right? Yeah. I
it's
mean,
a
I
whole
thought about
different
that.
business model,
Hmm.
and I couldn't have figured it out for a while until recently. I realized part of it is doing mini arcs within the chapters, and part of it is having the idea that this is not going to work out like a regular story. You
Yeah.
could take more time doing doing world building and talking about this stuff and that stuff and letting people hang with the characters depending on your style. Some people like very very small chapters, others like big extended chapters. um and then it also comes down to like how heavy would you have the level ups and the growth and the adventure compared to having more of those slice of life moments and the hangouts and the emotions, you know. Um, but the biggest series, all of them, except for Dungeon Crawler Carl, except for that one's an exception,
Yeah.
are have a lot of slow moments, have a
Yeah.
lot of web serial style writing.
Yeah. Yeah, DCC is adrenaline run, like it's a dungeon run, right? But yeah, I would agree. Um,
I did I
you
did
get
base I did base a couple of ideas off DCC. You might
yeah,
have noticed it a little bit in book two.
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But as you were saying,
No, I mean, I think one of my questions I was going to ask you is if you, because I didn't, you know how it is. You read a book and you're like, well, did this author start on Royal Road? I don't know. But your book, it is more actiony and more focused maybe than a Royal Road web serial
yes,
sort of novel. Um, and the genre I think is really split between the ones that are a little bit slower and the people that are just writing a book. Yeah, I talked to Rose last night and she's got most of her Bunny Girl Adventure book like done. Like, I mean, it's nowhere. You can't read it anywhere, right? She's just more like, I want to write a book and then publish it.
Rose is amazing.
It's just a different approach, right?
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of a different
So
story.
funny thing about Rogue Ascension, like it completely it did not do very well on Royal Road. You can look it up right now. Like you will look at that and be like, how did a series that was pretty let's see. Yeah, 4 point on Royal Road, 4.2 stars. It has 617 followers, 237 favorites, 154 ratings, and it only came up to 4.19 overall.
Yeah,
But compare that to the Amazon release, and it's like,
yeah.
how did that work? To be
Well,
honest, I did a lot of marketing.
yeah. It's I mean, Geneva and I have talked about how stuff that slaps on Royal Road sometimes just doesn't translate to Amazon at all, and other times stuff that it just does dismally on Royal
Yeah.
Road just slaps on Amazon. There's not, I don't know. It is a weird, yeah,
Yeah, but personally, I'm like, I would like a series one of these days that slaps on all the big three: Patreon, Railroad, and Amazon.
yeah,
It's hard to achieve that. It's really hard to achieve that.
yeah.
Uh, but I want to be able to do it. So it kind of requires you to slow down a little bit, but because I like action, it's weird because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna slow down a little bit, but I still love myself some tension somehow, some way. Even if it has to be a slice of life, even if it has to be like main character is trying to buy something and somebody haggles the hell out of him, and it's like, all right, let's throw down, let's figure this out,
Hmm.
you know. But I think I actually added a couple interesting scenes in book two. So spoiler if you haven't tried it. Remember the gambling den with Joey?
Hmm. Yeah,
That one was fun. Um, Also, what else did I do? The conversations and hanging out with Mike. What did
yeah.
you think of Mike actually?
I I will say that Mike, I liked because so Joey goes into this dungeon and pretty much like yeets every like friend that he's had in book one just gets like put on a shelf. And you're like, okay, he's gonna solo this dungeon. And then you give us Mike, and I thank goodness you gave us Mike because he acts as a good counter to Joey. Like he needed somebody to talk to that wasn't, his extra dragon head, right?
That wasn't the
Yeah, that
clones.
was the clone, right? But I, as of after reading book two, I still have a lot of questions about Mike, like what exactly his motivations are and like why, like
Yeah.
he, like I mean, like systematically he has to care about Joey, but like why does he care about Joey? And he's very overpowered compared to Joey, which is like, but yeah, I don't
There's
know. It was interesting because then you yeeted Mike like halfway through the book, and I was like, well. I was like,
you
can't
gotta
Joey
admit,
keep a friend?
Joey does a lot of yeeting.
Yeah,
He
like,
yeets a lot. But there goes the rogue part.
yeah, like
There goes Joey is a rogue in every sort of aspect except for the class rogue.
yes, it's true. It's true.
He has a roguish attitude.
Mhm.
He does do roguish things. But when it comes to a fight, he's like, "Nah, I'm just like a an off warrior."
Yeah,
He gets a lot of loot though.
he does
As
get a
as
lot
a
of loot. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah, he's got this like a loot plus, sort of capability. He's got that luck kind of factor
yeah.
to his looting. But it is interesting because I mean, he's kind of a loner, but you keep providing this array of cast that power that surround him, but then you keep getting rid of them different
That
ways.
plays.
Yeah.
So there goes the part of me that's like, maybe if I had a home base, we could generally know we're gonna see these characters more and more.
You just need to put him on a shelf at the home base so that you can be like, oh, where's Mike? Oh, he's the bartender now. That's
Got the wandering in effect.
Mhm.
But to be honest, I wasn't reading slice of life stories at that time. I was
No.
reading a lot of action. It's like
You're watching John
typical.
Wick. Yeah.
Yeah, watching John Rick.
You're like,
I think
they're useless.
I saw the raid at that
Okay.
time. That very famous, I think, Indonesia movie. Very amazing, right? But oh man, if only you got to book three, dude.
I'm
The
just gonna have to read book
revelations.
three, and we're gonna have to come back on the show. You'll catch up on the Wandering End. We'll talk about book
Yeah.
3, 4, and 5, and yeah.
The revelations that hit in book three, that kind of like sort of opens up the multiverse even further,
Mhm.
goes really crazy, goes really hard. And then it doubles down even further in book four, where you start to be like, okay, I thought Joy was overpowered before, but now it's getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'll leave you to it, and I could
You just
totally
need
understand.
him to get his own little pocket dimension, and then make that the home base that people can like squeak in and out of tonight. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
BJ. Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up. I mean, like we're like a half hour over our time.
really,
We've been having fun. I know, right? It's hard to.
dude.
We're gonna
To be,
log off of the podcast, and Hunter and I are gonna be talking for another hour.
the funniest part is I was kind of dreading this because I was in the middle of reading the Wandering, and I was like, God damn it, I got a podcast. All right.
Sorry, I had to rip you away. Yeah.
Yeah, but but now we both have to like. I have to read more of the Wandering, and you have to read more of Rogue Ascension. We have to
Yeah.
do like
Yeah.
another jam session,
I
dude.
think my road trip listen is going to be Rogue Ascension 3. And yeah, by the time I get to Jordan Con, I'll be set. We can have that conversation.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, like when you get to book three, everything like changes, and you like really. That's where the story really expands. But yeah, it's probably time to go. There's so much more to talk about though, but
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Which
so real quick before you go, you're going to be at Jordan Con, Lit RPG Con. Are you doing
yes.
Dragon Con this year?
Nah, not this time. I'm gonna
Yeah,
still be traveling. By the way, people, I'm in Medellin, Colombia. I'm
yeah,
actually, yeah, I gave away my earthly America possessions. The only link I have to America is my mom's place. Other than that, I'm a free digital nomad lit RPG author, so
yeah.
I'm living
Living
the
the
life
life.
right now.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
can't wait to hear some of your stories and stuff. I mean, you're doing the walkabout that everybody dreams of, so
it's
it's
kind of
awesome.
boring right now because most of it is going to this cafe to drink coffee and eat waffles, and then head to my hotel room and just read more of The Wandering Inn.
Well, you
But
know,
but once I'm done binge reading that damn book,
it it literally took me 2 years. I mean, I was raising kids and working and all, but yeah, like
dude, I have nothing else to do right now. Like I'm on like my first real break, and I was like, I could be doing so many other things, but I won't lie, I just feel like reading.
that's awesome. Yeah,
I worked for it.
yeah.
But what else you were gonna say?
Okay, so Jordan Con and Lit RPG Con.
Yes,
Do you have any book releases that you want to talk, like give dates for?
I don't have dates right now. Because I decided not to give myself any deadlines for the first time in like 4 years. But I predict Rogue Ascension 9, which I know people are really, really looking for. It's probably coming out, I want to say summertime, late summer, early fall. And once I get started, it'll be easy to get book 10 out by, I'll give it another couple 3 months after that. So it'll probably be out by winter time. And then Path of the Slayer, I think the last book for Path of the Slayer will come out next year.
Okay.
And then I'll finally start on a new story. Um, I'm not gonna say what it's gonna be because
Okay.
how many people?
Don't I won't hold you to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
can't
can
say what
whisper
it
it
is.
to me at the con. We'll just
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you at the con.
yeah.
I can't. I don't want to say what it is because, like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I know. As soon as you
yeah.
say it out loud, somebody will be like, where yeah.
Or
Yeah.
somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, that's a good idea. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take that to Chat GPT."
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Bastards."
All right, my last question for you, and I think I know the answer tonight, is if you were going to add a book to somebody's TBR to like Pop's TBR, what would it be? And um, yeah,
What do
it's
you
got
think
to be
it's
The
gonna
Wandering
be?
End, right?
I'm gonna say right now, it's definitely gonna be the Wandering Inn, but you're gonna want to clear your schedule. It's basically like the little RPG version of, I don't know, the Wheel of Time. Like
Yeah.
it it,
I
it goes hard.
I will say this confidently that I think that Pirate and what they've done with The Wandering End, I mean, like they are a fan, like one of the fantasy masters of our generation. Like, I mean, just generational talent. That book
Dude,
is
I didn't
wild.
I didn't I didn't believe the hype, but once you get into it, I was like, oh wow. They weren't lying.
No, they've
But
literally got like a whole
I'm
world. Like,
they really do.
yeah,
They make a lot of a little. It's inspiring for me too. I'm like, wow, this is gonna change. It's definitely gonna change how I write.
hmm,
Cause I did not think you could do that. I didn't think you could do that with a RPG.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean,
So
Pirate's pace is crazy. They were writing like 60, 100,000 words a week for years.
well, I think what makes it work. There were points where I was like, come on, pirate, like cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. Like um like the arc with the witches. When the witches first came out with the emperor, I know
Yeah, the witches are kind of
some
slow. Yeah,
I know some people skipped it, but I keep reading those parts because Ryoka is like a huge part of the cast. So I was like, all right, I'll
yeah.
read it. That part was really slow, and I kind of imagine Pirate indulged a little too much.
Hmm.
However, every time Eren gets back on scene or it follows Liscor, whatever's going on in Liscor, it's always
Yeah, it's
going.
always snappy. I was, yeah. I mean, and the nice thing is, at least through the first few volumes, the Aaron's like every 3 or 4 chapters, like you get an Aaron. So you're like, if I can just get through this, whatever,
Storefront.
I get Aaron back, right? Which is
Yeah,
why I struggled so much when she shelved Aaron's line for a
I
long
know.
time. I was like,
I know.
oh
I think I know what you're talking about because I saw a couple. What helped me go back to the Wandering Inn was I decided to spoil myself a little bit
yeah.
because I need to know what
You need
happened
to
to
know some of
Rags,
the yeah.
Rags and the goblins, and I
Mhm.
saw what was coming up, and I was like, nah, I have to stay in.
Yeah.
I have to stay in. I have to stay in the one thing I have to tell people is if Rogue Ascension is just pure dopamine and guilty pleasure, the Wandering Inn is you having to lift weights and understand how far the RPG progression genre can go as
Yes.
a fantasy.
Yeah.
The literal like limits it could push,
Yeah.
which will make you uncomfortable and will make or break you.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It
agree.
will make you or break you as a reader of this genre.
Yeah. It's interesting because it is controversial in that people either love it or hate it. There is really no in between. Like you're either in love with Wondering End or you absolutely hate it. And it's like one of my litmus tests. Like, what did you think of the Wondering End? Have you heard
Well,
the good news about the Wondering End?
it comes down to the fact of can you deal with characters making mistakes?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the complaints I hear is about the main character.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. In book one, a lot of people complain, and I think again, it's people don't read far enough. They don't get to Skinner. They don't get to some of the things that happen in book one. And they get stuck in Aaron's whiny because she's been isekai'd and she is like trying to figure
Can you
shit out. She's like this early 20s that doesn't know how to make a fire or like kill a goblin or
can
yeah.
you kind of can you blame her really?
I know. I mean, that's what I say. I was like, well, if my daughter who is 22 got isekai'd,
Bro, like
she'd be running from those goblins too.
I would look at the situations Aaron was going through and it was to me I don't know. I couldn't complain.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
seemed like it was very fitting. She was trying to survive and she had principles. She
Hmm.
had these very hardcore principles. To me they were hardcore cuz she was not willing to kill off the cuff. And I was like, "Well, that's new."
Yeah, yeah. In our
Most of the
murder
time these
hobo genre,
yeah.
this
Most
refusal to just yeah, yeah.
that was I personally think it's not this is not a shot against the readership because they make us right. But
Hmm.
I have to admit, there is a large segment of the readership that just kind of throws compassion to the side
Yeah.
and just wants the classical murderous bloodhound game character style, which I wrote in Rogue Ascension.
Yeah.
I lean into it, right? But I could, for me, like I actually liked Eren being Eren. I actually enjoyed the aspects of her having those dilemmas, standing her ground, even the clashes with Relk,
Hmm.
um, where she's like, no, no killing goblins, and that like
The
breaks her
tension and that
initial,
breaks their friendship for a while, and yeah,
yeah, yeah, like that. I was like, holy shit, a main character that actually like stands on their ground. Damn the consequences, right?
yeah,
But I I gotta admit, a lot of our readership they won't stand for it. They won't stand for it. There were moments where I was like, come on. There were moments where I was like, come on, pirate. Like this is kind of ridiculous. Again,
Yeah.
when when the horns, the lead up to the dog Creeler, the most mad I've ever been. I was like, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the Goblin Lord and the
The Goblin
war.
Lord, yeah, Reese. Yeah, Reese and the whole
But it was Volume 5, the ending of Volume 5,
Shivertail.
and Shivertail, Rags in the March. That
Yeah.
whole thing is so anti-genre.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, bro, this is so depressing.
It was
How
really
do people
depressing.
how do people push past
I
this?
had so Jen almost quit reading during that like death march, and I had to convince. I was like, no, no, you got to keep. I mean, like it's gonna get worse, but like you got to keep reading because yeah,
I think I wanted to quit too. No, actually the Death March thing kept me going. The deaths and like the fact that we had all these different characters like blasted out, just completely wiped out,
hmm
was one of the most like unfair like
yeah. I mean, the
plot
goblins
lines.
get hit. The yeah, the painted
Yeah,
Antinium get hit. The yeah,
yeah. So it was, and then, but what made it worse was like when they weren't able. Spoiler: when they weren't able to go into list score and they were turned away, and I was like, bro, what?
I know.
Yeah. So I was like after that, and then
But
going back.
that was so real because as much as like humanizing as Aaron did for the goblins, like that like Liscor couldn't open their gates. Like I wanted them to. Like ah,
That was it's one of those moments that made me like realize there's a lot of moments in this story I would have written differently,
yeah.
and I catch myself and realize, oh, Pirate's doing it better.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
It hurts as an author
Yes.
because it's like I would have done this differently,
Uh-huh.
but Pirate has balls of steel where
Yes.
she's gonna stick to her plan.
I mean,
Damn, damn the wish fulfillment.
they are incredible in how they humanize these like villains or these monsters or these folks and then just stick the knife in it, twist it, and it's like you're like the whole way.
There's
And then
also the
you pick up that next volume and you're like, give me more.
yeah. I think
Have you gotten and I mean I've read it and I've listened to it, but like all the parts jumbled together. Have you had the storyline with the uh the Minotaur guy? Um
oh Kairos.
has he come back yet?
So I've reached a storyline where yes, he
Yeah.
came back. And he's currently, spoiler, he's
Like
currently
we're beyond like I mean, you
yeah
guys just go
yeah
read the Wandering End.
he's currently in prison, and I'm thinking to
Yeah.
myself, bro, what are they gonna do to him? Because at this point, I'm like, I kind of want the redemption arc. I want the full redemption arc, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets murked, if he gets killed, if he gets
Yeah.
executed.
Yeah.
And the last scene I saw with him was when Aaron showed him the fire of glory,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm like,
He
okay, what happens next after that?
I know.
You don't. I don't know what happens,
I don't
but
know
like,
either because when I stopped reading, they had not like actualized any sort of final,
all right,
so
so
I don't know. It's a mystery for me too.
I'm reading all the way to they're up to volume 10, dude.
I
They're
know.
up
I
to
need to get back
volume
on
10.
it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we had like all these podcasts leading up to Jordan Con, and I really haven't had any time to read anything but the podcast books. So Now
All right.
that Jordan Khan's here, I'm gonna slow down and maybe I'll go back. I'll go back. We can
After after
like egg each
after
other
Rogue
on.
Ascension. After Rogue Ascension. After Rogue Ascension.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'll read books. Yeah. Yeah.
um. Oh wow, we're like what 44 minutes after
Yeah. We're
time.
45 minutes past the hour. Yeah. So
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna let everybody go. Have a
Yeah.
good night. We are gonna have a bunch more conversations at Lit RPG Con, and if you are a Wandering End fan, both Hunter and I are mega fans. So come talk to us about the Wandering End.
You,
I
you
literally could talk forever about it. It's
you're gonna have to be a mega fan to endure that freaking book, bro.
yes, you are. Yeah.
You're gonna have to be a mega fan because it's like I can see why people are pissed off. I can see why people just they can't deal with Aaron, but I like it. I like it. Would I write it that way? No way. I don't got it
No,
in
me
me.
neither. Yeah.
I don't got it in me. But it
I
definitely like changes my viewpoints.
I so for those who don't know, Pirate is super private. Like nobody's met them. Um Even Andy, the narrator, I don't think actually met Pirate. Like they always corresponded through digitally.
Yeah.
Um and there's some reasons. If you go back in the forums, you can find out the reasons. Like there was some fans that were not good. But
Ooh.
it is wild. Like I like part of the mystery of like who is Pirate, not necessarily because I want to actually know who Pirate is, but like the genius that came up with the Wandering End. I want to like how is this person in the world? Like can they have a normal conversation? Like what would they be
Dude,
like in a podcast? Like are they super arrogant? Are they really kind? Are they, you know,
dude,
yeah,
what
I
can
don't
I
know.
say? What can I say? Like I had conversations like have conversations with normal people who don't read fantasy and they're like, "What? You're an author? What's your book?" I've come to the point where if they do not read fantasy or fiction whatsoever and they ask me what my book is, I'm not gonna tell you, dude. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, why are you being like that?" And I'm like, "Because is the book is not for you."
Yeah. Yeah.
If I were to tell you, you ever checked out Mistborn, and you have no recognition. You ever heard of Brandon Sanderson? And you have one of the most popular modern authors, and you have no recollection of who that is.
Yeah.
I'm be
Same.
like, yeah, cool. I'm not gonna tell you my book.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm a fantasy sci-fi writer. Yeah, I just leave it there.
Yeah. So I would. It's hard to explain to the regular person. I think looking at Pirate, I'll be like, I'm just gonna read your work. I can't imagine what went through your mind. I think they read the Wheel of Time, and they must have read like a lot of epics.
Yeah. I always think of like, the people that have like the really big idea and they're working on the idea for years and then they never write anything because they like act like they have this whole world and they're like and like they've got this like map in
Yeah,
their dining room, but then they never write the book. And I feel like Pirate actually wrote like actually was like, you know what, I'm gonna write the book, and they did it.
that is to me one of the craziest things ever. I cannot tell you the last time I actually sat down and spent a significant amount of time world building.
Yeah.
That's not really particular to my style, but again, after reading The Wandering End, I was like, maybe I should give it a shot, you know? But it does come across as a story that they worked on for a while, if for half a month to years, right? And
Well, now they've got like 4 or 5 assistants that are tracking all the bits and bobs, which
they
helps.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important. Um, I have caught a couple of like inconsistencies here and there, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean,
I've
like
got
impossible not to, but yeah.
yeah, it's impossible. I'm like, whatever, and you keep going. That's how
Yeah.
you
You're
know you
like,
become
meh.
a that's how you know you become a veteran of this genre, bro. When you can catch plot holes and inconsistencies, and you're like, whatever, and you
Yeah,
just keep
whatever. The story's
going.
good. We're keep going.
Yeah, like that's what either you're a veteran reader or you have a really good book. Um, but some of our readership could be so sensitive, but you kind of realize. I think I've reached the point now that I realize don't focus on the extreme people.
Yeah.
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 All
Not
right.
everybody's gonna be happy. Well, thanks so much for
Yeah.
joining me. Our conversation was not the one that I exactly thought that we were gonna have, but like it was way better. So, like, yeah, you wrote
Yeah.
a great series. I can't wait to
Uh,
finish it.
Key.
Go. Did I lose you?
Hold on. I'm losing you, Reck. I'm
Okay,
sorry. Can you hear me?
I can
All
hear
right.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just
What
gonna
were you
say
saying again?
you wrote a great series, Rogue Ascension. Everybody should go out and read it. We're gonna have book 9 and 10 out this year, which is exciting. And yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna talk a lot at JordanCon, I suspect. So yeah,
Yeah. We have to find the Wandering End fans.
we need to
I
find the
li- I,
Wandering Fence. Yeah.
I literally feel like it's such a big book. I'm like, I feel like we have to do like a group, a part of the a part of the con based on the Wandering.
I yes, yeah, yeah, 100%. I've actually considered several cosplays with the Wandering End, but then I was like, will anybody get it? I don't know where the Wandering End fans are. So we need to band
I,
together.
it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's an epic. It's literally the longest story out there, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's the longest piece of fiction in English.
yeah, and it makes me realize like, oh, we probably have to do something for this story.
Yeah,
We probably should. I'll be a part of it. I'll champion it, even
yeah,
though
me too. I am right
I'll
there. I'm like, I'll banner.
yeah.
I actually one of my favorite memories from Lit RPG Con last year is Andrea. I got to sit down with Andrea like Sunday night or whatever, and like 2 or 3 hours we just talked about the Wandering End. It's like this is,
The funniest thing is I saw Andrea, but I haven't read The Wandering End by then. I just
yeah,
knew she was famous. And
yeah,
she had to step down for a little while, or she had to step down.
yeah. She stepped
But
down. Yeah, yeah. But I mean,
which I do who could blame her though?
when you think about because she had like 1,000 character voices that she was keeping track of, and every like the palace drakes and the Salazar drakes had different accents. Like every little region had different accents and stuff. Like the
For
amount of stuff.
real?
Yeah, yeah. And the fairies, oh my god, she did the fairies so freaking good. Like you need to listen to one of the books just to get, yeah, just to get the
Bro.
perspective. And the Antenium Kilkabik, and like they have like a clicking language, and it comes across in their accents and stuff.
Yeah, it cannot. That's a series that cannot be done by one narrator.
Mm-mm,
It
no,
can't. It can't be done. Um, and I know people are angry about that switch, but
yeah, no,
yeah, no, it is what it is.
yeah. And the new narrator is pretty good. Aaron's done a great job picking it up. So
Nice.
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if like the series continues and it's just one of those series that has to like it takes up another narrator, it takes up another narrator because like who could stick with that? Or like what if Andrea comes back, you know? But
yeah,
honestly, it's just a series that I don't think I could have that many characters or like that many like char- named characters that come up with different accents and stuff, right? That's crazy, dude.
I know it's like a whole world. Yeah.
It is definitely a whole world. But
All right. Well, we
yeah,
will have to end the podcast itself.
yeah,
I've
we
got to
have
go pack my car because I'm leaving tomorrow. So
oh, oh yeah. I
Yeah.
fly out on the 16th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fly out on the 16th. Shit, I was supposed to like.
You're gonna have to pack.
All right, I'm already half packed. I haven't unpacked that much while I stay at that hotel.
You're like, I've just got like 3 sets of clothes in the One Ring Inn. What else do I need?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we'll catch up at Jordan Con and just hang out.
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds
and
good.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It is.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks everybody for joining us, for those who are still hanging out. And yeah, see y'all in a couple days.
See ya.
See
We
ya.
out.